Okay, guys, we are live. So, for those listening at home, welcome to the Dungeon Musings YouTube channel. My name is Kevin Madison, and I will be your friendly dungeon master this evening, or this morning, or this afternoon, depending where this finds you. Today, we are continuing on with our ongoing campaign, playing Jeff Talanian's very awesome Astonishing Swordsmen and Sorcerers of Hyperborea. This is session 20 of this ongoing campaign, which we're calling the Reavers of Thule. And with me today are the stars of the Reavers of Thule campaign. I'll go in the order that I've got you guys on the screen here. Why don't you tell us who you are and who you're playing. So first up is Robert. I know you're wrestling with your camera still, but...
Oh, that's all right. Yeah, Robert, and I'm playing Reagan, a rune graver, and I will leave it at that because I need to people to see me soon.
Excellent. And next up is Carl.
Hello, I'm Carl. I'm playing Iphigenia Acanthodorus. She is a Amazonian warlock. Yeah, that's right. Cool.
And next up is Arlen.
Hi, I'm Arlen. I'm playing Aotei. He's a Celt fighter, but he's the bow sort of fighter, not the sword sort of fighter.
Yep. And next up is Will.
Hi, my name's Will. I'm playing Amar. Amar is a Sikh monk from 18th century art.
And last but not least is George.
Hey, I'm George. I'm playing Milo Black, who's a Chimeric Celt warlock, but he is more of the kind of overarching wizard type as opposed to Iphigenia, who is more necromantic in nature.
Nice. I always think that Malo is a what do you call it? A pyromancer for some reason. Because of the robes, probably.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
He's dressed in red robes.
Okay. So, guys, we had a pretty eventful session last session. Who'd like to do a recap of what we went through? There's really only two massive things that or two prominent things that happened.
Yes. Well, the major thing was that we spent, all of us together, took a long time to try to hire some mercenaries and henchmen. So the henchmen was what we worked on first, which were ultimately found two very interesting people, to say the least. A cleric, Hjalmar of Ymir, and then we found a huntsman named Amaguk, who would be willing to go with us to try to retake or permanently take Ironfang Keep, which was the objective. On top of that, we all kind of encountered a bunch of different mercenary bands with various names, and tried to put together a group. Eventually settled on, I can't remember the name of the guy. It was Diego. I can't remember the name.
Diego Moreta's Legion of Horse.
That's it. Who had a pretty impressive group of horsemen, as you might expect, as well as others. And we funded and provisioned them. And my son has decided to get involved. And we also hired a few other people, including a steward to kind of monitor the whole situation while we were elsewhere. And I can't remember if we wound up hiring, but we a blacksmith also. And then I can't remember if we wound up deciding to forego the engineer or not. I think we decided we would come back with the engineer at a later date because his fees were very outrageous.
Yeah.
So it took us 3 days to organize the provisions and get ready to set out. When at the same time, some Ixian nobles showed up on a huge ship with slaves, which we think is related to the incidents that occurred previously. I won't go into all the details of that, with some sinking of ships, etc. But the second more prominent thing that happened was we went to meet Aotei, the ranger, at midnight at the House of the Raven under this totem pole. And we kind of heard this voice in the darkness speaking in an arcane language. And just as the magic users among us started to recognize what that magical incantation was, we all fell asleep. And so Milo got a taste of his own medicine And then we came to. We kind of smelled this kind of oily scent around our faces. We were in this sort of darkened warehouse, and we were stripped down to our undergarments or lack thereof, depending upon the individual. And there were 6 or 8 figures standing around us in the darkness, kind of in a menacing way. And then one of them, this kind of Aleutian-looking man, older in his late 30s, early 40s, stepped forward, and he was wearing a traveling cloak that was reminiscent of the one that Amar, own, and which we have come to realize is a ranger cloak. And he just said, "Where are you from, stranger?" And that is where we ended.
That brings us right back up. That is absolutely worth a point of astonishing fortune. Excellent recap.
Cool.
So,
I need those points, as you've seen.
So,
No, I'm the one who needs them. It's like I always lose them within 10 seconds of the game starting.
That's true. I'll help you out if you need it.
okay, so then we have we'll pick up our scene with the stern-looking face of Aotei looking down at Amar. They're almost like completely, complete contrast to each other in the sense that Amar's got his big bushy, Sikh beard. He's got his turban on still. This, for those who are unfamiliar with Amar Khalsa Singh, is what Amar, of course, looks like. And in contrast, this guy has very, very thin, dark hair. He's got clean-shaven face, but similar dark eyes as well, too. So he posed you a question, Amar, when we last left. What do you say? Oh, and let's get... hold on. No, not that one. Trying to find our mood music here.
Oh, this will be interesting, the choice that Kevin makes.
almost everything suits towards either horror or what do you call it? What's this one here?
It's just going to be Kevin making zombie sounds.
Yeah. I got to play Astonishing Swordsmen and Sorcerers of Hyperborea this week.
Yeah.
And I based my character on Brian Blessed.
Yeah,
I love that.
remember
I love
reading
that. Yeah.
I spent all fucking day. I was so busy at work for discoveries, and then every free moment I'd have in my Jeep, I would just be doing Brian Blessed voices.
I wish you had accidentally done it in a Discovery.
In Discovery, I know.
I do have a fake voice I use in Discoveries too, though.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, I don't use the word motherfucker nearly as often as I do in my normal
your
life.
first mistake.
Yeah. Anyway, so he looks down at you. His eyes met with you. He posed you a question. He kind of stands up to his full height and is looking down at you, awaiting a response.
I am from a land beyond time and space from here, and I have traveled great lengths to arrive at this point.
And you can see his eyes. They're dancing in the the reflection of the torchlight in here is reflecting off of his eyes, but it's betraying no emotion. Whatever he may be thinking is completely masked by his inscrutable face. He considers your words and asks if you are one of those that comes from across time.
I believe I am. This is not my home.
He looks at you. You believe. You are not the traveler.
I am a traveler.
He leans in. His eyes kind of like right up against yours to study your expression. And he says, "Come you from Yith?"
I don't even know what the technical term was. Surely that was.
That word for your characters means nothing to you.
Yeah. My land, my people are of the Punjab.
Punjab. And he stands up. And you see a robed figure steps forward, and this figure has a like a big blanket or robe or something over it with some symbols and markings, or some designs, I should say, that have been stitched into it. And the robe seems to have kind of elements of Norse designs, but mixed with like Pacific Northwest First Nations groups as well. And this person who steps forward, she is probably about, you would guess, maybe late 20s. She has the coloring and the look of a like Salish woman, but her eyes are brilliant blue. And she strides up, and give me a sec here. Where are the stats for Hellhound?
He steps up and smacks me in the face.
Okay. There we go. So she... she strides up towards you, and the man with the Salish-looking man nods to her, and she speaks some kind of word, and you can feel the power kind of well up around you, and there's this intonation of sort of power going off, and then there's this slight cawing of ravens. And Amara, I need you to give me a saving throw, please. A sorcery saving throw.
Sorcery. And is this, let's see.
It is a mind controlling. It is, yeah.
Okay, so is that a +3? How do I do that? Let's just do the straight sorcery.
Oh, hold on. Do you have what's your intelligence?
My intelligence is 9. My wisdom is 16, which is supposed to give a bonus.
Actually, you don't get a saving throw then.
Oh, well, never mind then.
Sorry, it's only if you have a 13 plus intelligence and those of 6 hit dice or more, then you get a saving throw. Otherwise,
interesting.
You cannot. So what she says to you is, "Speak truth," and you say again, "You're from the Punjab," and she looks down, looks at the guy, and looks down at you, and he was keeping himself almost at like a battle ready stance, like as if he was a coiled spring ready to jump loose if needed, and there seems to be some of that tension that comes out of his body as he crouches down. So you're now actually looking down at him, and he looks up at you, and he says, "You don't know how you came here, then?"
No, I entered a cave to avoid a snowstorm. And when I came out, I found myself in this land.
And you know not what drew you here.
No.
He stands up again. How did you come by these robes? And you see it, one of the guys, a similar dress to him, although this guy appears to be of like Norse persuasion, dirty blonde hair, blue eyes, Caucasian. He's carrying the two robes, both Malos and Amar's. How did you come by these then?
A long story, but we were shipwrecked. And as we made our way across the wastes of Thule, we came upon a cave which we explored and found these cloaks on, and I believe it was 3 dead bodies, right? Isn't that right? Yeah. We found these cloaks on these perished bodies. And so we brought them with us.
And this is that cloak. 1 second, I need to grab.
Oh no, not another book.
Oh, when is that never ever a good thing for you guys? What he says.
Out of character, I thought we found one with those bodies and then one at Iron Fang Keep.
You did, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's right. That's right. Yeah.
I was trying to think, and I was like, did we find both of them there? I'm like, I don't think that's
No,
right.
you're right.
Well, he was actually going to say that one of them is from this was Hrotyr's cloak. He was one of us on a task. He did not return. We assumed him deceased. The other, though, is from an older sect. Where did you find the other?
There is a keep named Iron Fang, not far from here.
We know of it.
We were assisting the Wimmick in driving out the beast creatures who had occupied it and returning to them their...
So he leans down and he says, you would help one beast creature against another? Do you enjoy having your pets fight?
I would help those who are true against those who wage evil.
And he stands back up again. What else did you find with Hrotyr's cloak?
That's a good question. Anybody else remember specifics? What else was in there?
The discs were with those.
That's right,
Yep.
those discs.
Do you still have the discs?
And that's a yes, because I believe it's, doesn't George carry them?
Yeah, we've got him.
Yeah. Yes, we have them.
Do you speak for your companions?
I speak only for myself, but we are, and I'm going to lay a word on it that in my native tongue that means a group of like-minded individuals with a common goal, a quartet.
Okay. He looks at you and says, says this word is unknown to me. This is from your Punjab?
Yes, we are of separate bodies, but of same goal.
And what is that goal?
Our goal primarily was to arrive here, and now our goal is to retake the keep to ensure that those who wage evil will no longer have a foothold.
He thinks about what you've said. And he says, and if others have claim to this keep, would you enter another man's home and claim it your own?
When one defiles their soul with hate, it is no longer their home. They have relinquished their right to hold it. And just men must take action.
And this is what your quartet consists of. Just men.
Yes, I have seen by their actions, as we have worked together, that we are true.
Okay. He looks over the lot of you guys, everyone, their mouths bound, and he finally decides, my name is Aotei. I hear you have been seeking me. And someone from behind you cuts your arms free, Amar.
Good.
Attack him.
No, I don't.
Oh man.
Oh my gosh. Can I stand, or am I still bound to the chair?
No, you can stand now.
Okay, good. Yes, I'm going to stand and stretch for sure.
Okay. I trust
will you
if
free
we
my friends?
free your quartet, they will remain peaceable.
Yes, we are not here. We came of our own free will seeking you.
There are many who would seek me of their free will. The intent for finding me is another matter. But he makes kind of a bird sound, and each of you is in turn released as well too, and your gags taken off. And he says, Amar from the Punjab, why have you sought me?
What was our... It was the discs for sure that we were trying to find out about, right?
We are looking
And
for
the-
allies among the Rangers.
Yeah, the Wimmick told us to look out for
Right.
Aotei.
For them.
Yes. Yes, our Wimmick friends told us to seek you out specifically.
There are not many in these lands that would know the name of their people. How did you come to know the name of the Wemmick?
Okay, I'm not going to go through the whole thing. I'm just going to regale them with the story of how we met, found them, proved ourselves to them, and became a part of their assault. And
you guys have those of you who were made part of the tribe have that brand on you as well too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So you could show that off, and he nods. He says, the Black Claw have proven stalwart allies and worthy estimates and worthy judges of the quality of men. If you have their blessing, then at the least you are not an enemy of ours. These robes, though, You realize that what they signify.
I have a vague understanding at this point, but originally we had no knowledge.
It marks you as one of the Rangers. That marks you as a friend to us, but it also marks you as a target for our enemies. And our enemies are legion in this land.
Outside of the Wemmick, of the Black Claw, all are fundamentally enemies of us currently. To add our strength to yours would give us more strength.
How do you know what the strength of the Rangers are?
You took us here. That is no small undertaking.
Either an overestimation of your own abilities or a flattering assessment of ours.
Not flat. Because I'm still under the truth thing, right?
No, it was only the one thing that compelled you.
Oh, okay, my bad. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
yeah,
you can...
no flattery.
Hmm.
We are a strong quartet. We have traveled many leagues.
Oh, and you have traveled even further, Amar of the Punjab. We've known for some time that one of the ancient enemies of man had attempted a new kind of sorcery, a way of striding across the reaches of time and space, bringing bodily from aeons in the past or ages in the future, taking what they would, but we did not anticipate that their ritual may not have worked as intended. Our oracles told us that one was brought from across the gulf of time. And when you came, strange appearance, strange behaviors, and wearing the mark of the Rangers, we thought you a bold member of these of the enemies from Yith. It appears that you are not in league with them. You know nothing of what I speak. I could tell you are a stranger to Yith.
I am indeed a stranger in a strange land.
Curious then. If we found you, Amar of the Punjab, the beings of Yith will be in pursuit as well. You best take care. Their agents are subtle, but powerful.
What else can you tell me of these? Yeah.
The way that they travel from their distant homes across the oceans of time is as a kind of parasite, one that subsumes the will and consciousness of men. And through men, they work their evil machinations. And when their goals are met, they once again flee across the gulf, across all the ages, playing mankind like a game. We stand against them. Odd that you brought yourself here, to Thule. This new land. This land that was secret to us and to all the ancient enemies of men. You found the discs as well.
Do they pertain to the Yith?
Not to the Yith, but to the men of this land. It said that a powerful and ancient race of men once ruled here, and the most powerful among them, they brought them into hiding, into a place far from the reach of the enemies of mankind. But now that they've returned, all the enemies have returned to Thule as well, and all the secrets and treasures of that fallen race lie scattered across the frozen lands of Thule. It's said as well that the mighty will that brought this land through the mists across to a hidden place, that it persists beyond death. And that will is why the dead rest so unquiet in this land.
We have much experience with that.
I trust you have. You were on the Gallant.
Yes, our ship that was wrecked.
It may be more than a coincidence that the White Death struck your ship if you were aboard Amar of the Punjab.
Haven't we heard of this White Death before?
Yeah. It's
That's
that
what I thought.
the White Death is this enormous sea creature of some kind that seems to haunt the coastline of Thule.
Huh. Well, we are here now.
You are. And we think somewhere among the rival factions, agents of Yith are at work, advancing the schemes of their ancient race, and trying to find you, Amar. Have you...
For what purpose?
You. If these great beings were able to themselves stride the leagues across the decades, across the centuries, across the millennia, they could bring armies where they wish. They could fashion the most powerful of bodies to inhabit, bring them across time, spreading their foul science anywhere, crushing all the free will. But you are the only one who has bodily strode across that gulf. If you could be found, that is a great success for their investigations.
This is indeed troubling news.
Indeed. If the enemies of men, if the Yith, the denizens of Yith, gained that ability, there's nowhere, no bastion that would be safe from them. Some say the safest course would be to simply kill you and dispose of your body.
That is only a postponing measure, though.
And you kind of...
They've done it once. It can be done again.
Indeed. I feel that there may be more at play than simple fate for you to have brought yourself here, for you to have survived so much. Though it seems there may be many who seek you and the secrets that you may hold, though those secrets may not be known to you, Amar. As a refresher, too, Will, remember you had that weird vision?
Yeah,
disappeared.
I've been playing that in the back of my head while we've been talking.
There's also, if you just as a refresher, because your character would like to remember this too, but do you remember the encounter with the ghost mammoth as well?
Oh, yeah. Well, it was a ghost?
No, but it was completely chalk white mammoth cub.
Yes. And I wouldn't necessarily connect that with the rest of this. I don't think off the top of my head. But yeah, I remember that because it was wounded and I healed it, if I remember.
Yep. Yeah, and appeared only, that was when you were on watch one night.
Yeah, they were definitely... I wonder if that was a sign, a portent, if you would.
Do you mention the having been drawn to that strange land where you heard that you're in that weird built-up city? You heard that screaming. That was when you were before you guys. I think it was before the first assault on Iron Fang Keep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'll tell him about that and explain, how I perceived it, I guess. It's the best way to say it.
And take care. If the enemies of man seek to draw you elsewhere, if they brought you from where your home, the Punjab, they may seek to bring you elsewhere and elsewhen. Now, the discs and Rollier's cloak, where did you find these?
Well, they were in the keep. Is there a specific area?
You found them in a cave?
The first one.
Oh, the first one.
Yeah.
That was deep in the vermin cave.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, it was deep in a cave near a stream.
A cave near a stream?
Yes.
Did you find anything else there?
We found several things, unfortunately. Most inimical.
A
to
tomb?
Man.
Did you find a tomb?
Yeah.
Believe we did, didn't we?
No.
No, but we didn't.
That I know of.
We left a whole section unsearched.
Yeah, there was a lot of it that we did not chart.
Yeah.
He found it then. What he was searching for was that those discs are a key to a tomb of a princeling or duke of some sort, a thrall to the evil will that ruled this land in ages past and seems beyond death to still exert his or her will over all.
Is that related to the Yith or something else?
Whatever the Black Claw refer to him as the Warlock Prince. The evil and powerful sorcerer who's said to have brought this entire land free and into a place of safety from the enemies of men that bespeaks a power that could rival those of these ancient enemies. The Yith are but one of those numberless evils that would seek to thwart the will of men. If this tomb had secrets, information, even hints at that power, these could be tools turned against the enemies. The Flesh Shapers, the Yith, the Serpent Folk.
Well, okay, so I'm going to speak to the rest of the party. So what do we want to do here? Do we want to provide them with the directions to the caves? Do we want to, I mean, I know we've kind of already got a plan of going back to the key. Do we want to go with them back to the caves? What do you guys think?
You guys can feel free to chirp in as well, too, if you want to talk to Aotei or any of the other rangers.
Maybe these discs are some sort of key to unlock this tomb. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
They
That
are
is-
a key for sure.
The science of the Masters of Thule rivals that of the fabled Hyperboreans. The discs serve many functions, one of which is as a key, as you say, madam.
Well, maybe we can invite the rangers to go back with us to Iron Fang Keep, and then use that as a jumping off point.
Yeah,
Yeah, I thought that as well as a forward operations area.
right.
No, that's a good
Since
thought.
they seem the only ones to actually believe that the Wemmicks aren't just, bestial and malevolent.
Right.
Did you... I trust that the Black Claw advised you that the Iron Fang was once a stronghold of the Rangers.
Yeah, so we did learn that.
Before the mist parted and Thule became accessible to the gates or defenses were brought down, there was members of our ancient order who appear to have been active here. And Iron Fang Keep is an ancient stronghold of our order. Though we sent one of our numbers, to seek out what secrets may be held there. He has not returned either. Which assumed it was the enemies of men, our ancient enemies, that worked against him, though you said it was beasts who had controlled Iron Fang Keep.
Yes, what people call around here the Vormis.
We know them. Though they are not the kind to take prisoners. They have no compunctions against eating sentients. Perhaps he is gone altogether. In any event, our mission relies on secrecy, and our numbers are few. You would take Iron Fang Keep?
That is our objective.
And also to repair it.
Yes. We had heard that the Rangers had once held Iron Fang, and that it fell to an old power that had existed since the beginning of time, deep in the heart of this land.
Indeed.
So we would retake it. There are spirits that are not at rest within the keep that we wish to send on their way to wherever they wish to go in the afterworld.
Spirits.
Yes.
Of rangers.
It seems rangers who engaged in battle.
How do you know they engaged in battle?
I witnessed, not quite a vision, but not a reality either, but men who seem to be involved in some kind of combat. And from a sage we consulted, we learned that there was such a battle there long ago, and that perhaps they were trapped, their souls were trapped there for eternity unless they could be freed.
You saw
one of our aims.
You saw the foes then?
Yes, because remember there was the one guy and he was fighting like, I don't know, was it 10 of them or 8 of them? It was a good deal of the other undead that he was trying to control.
Yes.
Describe them. You may remember that they effectively look like Hyperboreans with the big, conical hat kind of things. And you heard the roar of some massive creature as well, too.
Right.
So if you tell him that, then he nods, says the warlock tyrant.
Great.
Seems he... It's said that in his day, massive reptilian creatures, dragons, were used in his armies. You don't seek, then, the keep for the glorification of your lineage and the expanding of your power. We've heard of those here who would seek such a thing.
Yes, we've encountered them. Unfortunately.
Indeed, they are rivals.
Yeah.
Yes. They may even consider us enemies.
An annoyance.
Yes,
Then.
they were annoying. Indeed, they were.
That's right.
So he kind of nods. Well, then it appears that our goals may be aligned. If you would seize this and hold it as a bastion against the enemies of men, you would restore that which has been corrupted. While our numbers may be few, the assistance that we can offer our allies is not inconsiderable. Is not to be underestimated.
Excellent. We will take whatever help you can offer.
What we can offer is our wisdom. So guys, everybody has 1 point of renown with the Rangers of Thule.
Cool.
Played that relatively well.
Now, you guys can also feel free to ask further questions of them. You know, we don't need to necessarily... If you want to roleplay it out, I'm happy to keep doing my Aotei voice, but...
Let's see. So obviously they have the disc because they were on us when they captured us.
Yeah.
So one of the things that we were told was that there's hinges on these discs that have other purposes. And just wondering if they know more about what these discs might be used for in particular, or if these are as baffling to them as they are to us.
These are but one part. The science of the Masters of Thule is still largely a mystery, and these discs are but one of two that of which we are aware. The other of which is in the hands of Rangvald the Trout.
Oh, that's interesting.
I take it you are familiar with the Trout.
We are, and he is familiar with us.
Indeed.
What is his alignment,
definitely aided us
affiliation?
in
Yes,
our
he did not. Yeah.
Kind of
Is he?
the challenge.
Yeah. Is he a man of good, or does he fight against?
He is a man of his own interests.
Uh-huh.
He allies himself with House of Thurmond, but he has interests that extend beyond that. He seems to know things that he has no reason for knowing. The Trout holds many secrets, and I would not ever count him as an ally. The end to which the goals which he pursues are as hidden as his other secrets. But we watch him closely, and we would suggest you do the same. Do not trust the Trout.
Do you think he's one of these travelers that you mentioned?
I know not what he is. I know he is a powerful sorcerer.
Oh.
I know he seems to know secrets, though those of his ilk some at times prefer others to think that he knows what he does not actually know. Though this one, the fleet that traveled north, the fleet beset by those titanic raiders, that was at the Trout's behest.
Huh.
That is why they were sent north.
Without the knowledge of the Thane?
The Thane, the commands come with the Thane's voice, but it's the Trout's will that drives it.
And is there is there any way of recognizing the Yith, or their agents of the Yith anyway, or do they look like normal men?
They are normal men.
They are.
It's their ancient and alien will that simply crushes the man's and replaces it.
Oh, so they may take they may take a man from Thule or anywhere and replace their minds with their own?
Anywhere across all time, across all space.
So anyone could be an agent of the Yith.
Yes. And not simply an agent. One of them.
One of them.
Their vast and powerful minds cast across all that distance, made manifest in the present.
So then, original form. Their original form remains in their home, but they can extend their will across time and space, essentially.
It's not known if they have an original form. If you are a traveler across all the breadth of time and space, dancing from body to body, how can you say what you are beyond that incorporeal will?
Yes, it must have some interesting philosophies.
Whatever they may be, they do not make kind allowances for men. We are but tools to them, a means to their nefarious ends.
Mm-hmm.
So do you, the Rangers, have means of detecting these Yithians?
No. We have ways of attempting to uncover them, but no simple test, no.
Have you apprehended any? Or killed, I guess.
Over the long time of our order, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Since coming here, they remain hidden. We thought your fellow, we thought he would be one.
I see.
Sadly, fortunate for him, but sadly for us, it remains a mystery. Do they still seek this sorceress knowledge? Do they still seek to perfect that technique to bring their kind across the gulf bodily? Amar, you best keep your origins, the secrets of your homeland and your travels closer.
Indeed.
You're a key to secrets that would be valued by beings far older than our kind.
And their objectives, is it invasion and conquering, or do you know what they ultimately seek?
What we have learned, at least as far as their ambitions for Thule are concerned, is that the warlock tyrant kept them at bay for millennia.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And with some strange turn of fortune, the secrets of which we do not know, those walls came down, and now all the enemies of men come scrambling back here, seeking their secrets and seeking to spread their will. Vultures to a carcass.
Just a quick question. I want to make sure I'm getting this right. The Warlock Prince and the Warlock Tyrant are two separate people?
Same.
They are the same. Okay.
He has we understand he had princelings who served him, or it, more correctly. If he could speak of such a powerful being in such a way.
And
But
you
this,
believe he still lives?
of a kind. This, and he lays out one of the copies of Nude's map that you guys have. So I trust this is, you are familiar with this.
Yes.
Yes, we have a signed copy number 355.
Yeah. I picked it up at Comic-Con. He signed it for me. I love your work so much, Nude.
You're way better than Jim Lee.
So he spreads this out for you, and he points and he says, "You see this here?
Mm-hmm.
Have been known as the Dead Lands.
Yeah.
This was a vast city-state. These lands, before they became the razed and dead areas they are, vast and powerful kingdoms lie there. It's said that the Warlock Tyrant raised it with his magics. Conceive for a moment what such power could do in the hands of beings that care not one whit for the well-being of men.
We found writing on the discs themselves, and when translated, in part read Prince Kowia. Is this name familiar to you?
We made the same translations. We take it to be one of the warlock tyrant's princelings.
Uh-huh.
It's understood, or we understood, that his tomb was there. What secrets and dangers it may hold was unknown. But if we were able to locate the tomb, what secrets might it hold to help us better understand what was once Thule?
I see. So Thule, as it was. So if I am understanding you correctly, Thule is not native to this world. It was brought here.
It seems that Thule may be like their minds that drift across space and time. So too this land may.
Interesting.
There are races, there are faces that I have not seen across the length and breadth of Hyperborea. Surely you've noticed this.
Yes.
Some of these people, they come from, and they are legacies of the castaways trapped in Thule, much like yourself, Amar. But some must come from other lands. If so, then Thule may serve as a waypoint.
Well, if it is important to explore this tomb to find answers or potentially weapons or knowledge that may aid in the quest to repel all these various enemies of men that have returned, it seems like a place that we would all want to go and ideally have your assistance in exploring. However, along the way, we would like to take Iron Fang Keep. We have acquired mercenaries who can hold it for us, so that we do have one foothold outside of Tuleborg itself, where we can be away from prying eyes who may seek us out, since we have no way of knowing who may be Yith and who may be allies. It gives us a place that we control. We do not know if you would wish to accompany us to Iron Fang first, and then on we can show you where the cave is, or if you wish to come after we have taken the keep. We know that you are few in number and have many tasks at hand.
Our numbers are few, and we have many tasks at hand. And as tempting as the secrets within Iron Fang Keep may be, and they are, for that is an order of ours, or a branch of our order that was active in Thule during its long absence. The mere fact that the Rangers existed here during that time, and we were able, when we first set foot on this land, to find familiar markings, to find familiar ambitions. There may be great secrets in there indeed. But we have more pressing concerns. In particular, we have now, grateful as we are to find new allies, the mystery of what brought Amar here is of much greater concern to us at present. The tomb would be of great value as well, and to the best of our ability, we would express our gratitude for that. And if you successfully took Iron Fang Keep, we would likewise express our gratitude appropriately. Having a stronghold away from the prying eyes of the Trout and the others, the necromancers of Ix, the other schemers. We've only of late learned that there is yet another sect of sorcerers who call themselves the Thulean Circle, an unholy alliance of the Mages Guild of Cromarium, the Necromancers, or Sorcerers Guild of Cromarium, the Necromancers of Ix, and other sorcerers who seem intent on plundering the knowledge of Thule for the sole purpose of expanding their own power.
What's their name again? Sorry.
Thulean Circle.
Got it. Thank you.
We know nothing.
They're in the factions list.
They actually aren't.
Oh, great.
Yeah, they are. You sent me something. I have a PDF.
Oh, because the Thulean Circle, yeah, we introduced them. They're not in the original list. They were introduced during the gaming marathon.
Cool.
They got a lot of cool stuff.
They do.
Oh, no. I have a personal question to ask, and on behalf of Amar, but he can speak for himself as he wishes as well. We did find these cloaks, and they have been of great benefit to us and great service ultimately to your cause as well as our own. However, we do not wish to continue to wear them if it would be disrespectful to your people.
You, however unknowingly you may have done so, you have proven allies of ours. And it seems clear that Amar and your quartet seem intent on on contesting the goals of the enemies of men. If that remains the case, you may wear our marking. You are friends to the Rangers.
Well, we are certainly against the enemies of man, and we will risk our lives to protect all that we can. So we take this as a great gift from the Rangers, and we will use them in the way that you would see them used.
If you would take up arms as well, while we cannot help you at this time, one thing we have found is allies here as well. And if you have made friends of the Black Claw, then I trust that you will know that friends and allies can be found wearing faces other than those that seem our own. The Mist Hunters of the Bay of Mists, the Frozen Circle, sorry, the Frostwood Circle in the Frostwoods to the north, and the Crusade of the Burning Dawn. You may find allies there, though know that they're not all of their ambitions would necessarily align with your own.
That is very good to know, since we will be on the lookout for enemies everywhere, since we have no way of spotting them. So it is good to know who may be allies.
If you do seek to retake Iron Fang Keep as well, we will provide one further caution.
Mm-hmm.
To the northwest of the keep, there is a ruin. What seems to have once been a city of the Masters of Thule. Another of the enemies of men, the crafters of flesh. They seem to have taken the ruins for a hive of their own. They seem intent to seek to drive men from these lands. The blight that afflicts this land currently, the plague that has led the Foxbeard to seal and to quarantine Yarnheim. I see their claws at play in this.
Interesting. That is very good information.
If you
Best to
seize,
have.
if you seize that stronghold, they may take action and take care. Their agents are horrible and secretive.
Mm-hmm. Very good to know. And the other question we have for you is, if we need to seek you out again, what is the best way to make contact, or will you find us as you did this time?
You can leave messages. Sage, with whom you spoke, the if you leave messages with Nude, the Dragon's Rest, word can reach us.
Right. Those are my questions. I turn to my allies. Is there anything that we missed, or that we need to know, or we wish to tell them?
What about the serpent folk that you mentioned earlier? Where is their influence at?
Theirs is, as is the case elsewhere, this land seems to have seen many ages, and one of those may have been an age of serpents. It's said that there is a temple to Yig himself somewhere beneath here that predates the rise of men.
Is he speaking specifically of Tuleborg?
Of Tuleborg.
Okay.
We call this Tuleborg now. But look at the construction. Look at the foundations of the keep. These were not crafted for those who have an eye to tell. These are not the craftings of man.
Because I remember you describing the steps, I think.
This is an older city with many lives. And we hear tales of agents of all the rival factions seeking the secrets beneath. The Rooks of Raven, the Sages of Chromarium satisfy their curiosity. The Necromancers of Ix to expand their power. Yeah.
So we came to the most dangerous place imaginable. Got it.
Yep, we excel at that.
I can't wait to get to the safety of the tundra again.
Exactly. Actually, it wasn't bad considering.
Yeah, all things considered.
You seem now to have made a name for yourselves, while these grander ambitions, or these ancient and storied organizations may pursue their goals. Do not lose sight of the threat that petty men can bring as well. We've heard of the duel between the lion and the one of the second sons. Their naked ambition is an easy tool to be directed by these other more malevolent and long-sighted forces.
Yes, it wouldn't surprise me if they already are in their sway.
Something so easily or so keen on charging ahead is often the easiest thing to direct.
Yes. Yeah, certainly that.
Indeed.
I would not be surprised if they tried to thwart our efforts to take Iron Fang, so we shall be wary.
That is what I have heard as well. And one of the primary reasons we have not. Our role is most effective when we are unseen by our enemies. Having you as a public face for them to hate provides a useful distraction as well. And it's the first time you kind of see him smirk.
Well, you can thank the lion for that.
Yeah.
He definitely made sure that they were unhappy with us.
Yeah.
Which we all appreciate.
Then, have you any further questions for us? Or you have satisfied our questions about you?
That is all that questions that I can think of. Iphigenia or Arter, Reagan, do you have any other questions or thoughts?
Not at the moment.
No.
And we only find out a little bit of information, so everyone's out to kill us. Got it. Everybody.
Yeah.
Not everyone. But I can already see some of the factions will have cross purposes. Like those crazy Artemisians will be hunting creatures, so.
Yeah, I think ultimately we may need to find a way to use various factions against each other.
Right.
Yeah.
You guys make me so happy.
I was curious if I think about the way the trout looks, does he look more like a snake than a fish?
Not really. No, but it's difficult to tell though.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Well, I mean, like it says, his little thing says he created Tuleborg and he's been here a while.
They say he's a true architect, and he seems to know an awful lot of the secrets of Thule.
There you go.
No.
You guys.
He kind of was not good to us, but he was,
He was fair.
He's fair. He pushed for the challenge to happen, even though those brats were afraid and didn't want it to happen. So.
He may see us as potential tools as well. Who knows?
Oh, right. Yeah. Everyone thinks we're a tool.
Well, I think they're tools. So.
Of the word.
Right.
Okay. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, it seems like that's all of the information we would ask of the Rangers, but we're looking forward to continue to working with them, and are feeling honored to be considered allies of the Rangers. But we will take our leave And I wouldn't mind getting dressed. That would be okay.
Yeah.
Since we're all standing around with nothing
Yes.
on.
So you guys, you get all your what they say is that you can find your they've got all your supplies and stuff stored on some table in this warehouse. We'll trust that you we will hear from you.
And how shall we make our way out of this place? We obviously it is meant to be secret that this meeting was held. Should we go one at a time, or does it matter either way?
From what I understand, wasn't one of your number found staggering naked outside the house of the trickster?
Oh.
Perhaps.
Yeah, we don't want to do that though.
Yeah, look at.
I think finding you in strange places, crawling out of strange circumstances, will attract very little attention.
Okay, that's fair.
All right. What about? Hey, what'd you do with Dogma?
What I do with?
Dogma, my dog.
Oh, your dog is still going to be at your what do you call it?
Oh, I thought it followed us to the.
Oh, it's probably he probably scampers out of the out of the shadows. He's been held by one of the rangers.
Okay.
Cool.
Dogma the Wonder Dog.
Yes. Okay, so we're at our halfway point. Why don't we take our halfway point break? Take 5 minutes,
Cool.
come back, and then we'll figure out what we're gonna do next.
Awesome.
Cool.
Cool.
Where am I here?
Intermission.
Intermission music. So, whoop, that is not it.
That's not the intermission.
Where's our intermission music? Where'd you go? Where'd you go? Here we go.
I feel so out of it today. It's like I actually got a decent amount of sleep, but the last 2 or 3 nights our sun has just been up most of the night. It's like, I've been trying to give my wife a little bit of a break, and I go in with him, but then I get no sleep because he doesn't give any room on the mattress.
Yeah.
So,
I'm so glad that I missed all that.
So I think I zoned out at one point. They aren't going to be coming to they aren't going to be helping with the keep directly, but they've kind of implied that they would like to use it as a jumping off point if we get it. Is that right?
The interpretation I got was they might come back to the keep while we go to the caves.
Huh.
But I could be wrong.
Okay.
Yeah, I think they're definitely not coming with us on this trek back out to Iron Fang.
Okay.
So.
Okay, got it. Yeah, they consider us tools. If we can take it, great. If not, and tools in multiple senses of the word, maybe.
Yeah, for real.
So how did the? I saw Arlen. You did the guest DM thing for the system. How do you like running it?
It's fun. It's a good system. It's kind of interesting comparing it to some of the other things I've been running because, it's interesting the way that it is kind of non-modern. Like there's not a whole skill system or anything like that, which is something that it seems like most modern games are like. Yeah, you have your combat system and your skill system. So it was kind of interesting to play something that was not like that, or that it's all like class features, right? Like the barbarian can do these special things and the thief can do these special things, but nobody else can. Yeah. So I don't know. It was a lot of fun. It was a fun session, and I did a fun trick. At the very end, the boss monster, instead of the boss monster just appearing out of the hidden door or something like that, one of the guys touched the door, and then I had him transform into the Minotaur, and so had him play it out. And you guys killed him, and it was great. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, he almost killed all of us, though.
Yeah, it was pretty deadly. I mean, he was a 6-hit die creature versus 4 or 5 first level characters.
Yeah.
So
yeah, we just he took. Well, I mean, I guess the cool thing about Hyperborea is that you don't die right away.
Yep.
You kind of bleed out.
Yep.
So one, and we had 3 spellcasters, 2 healers. So one spellcaster was wandering around and touch healing people.
Mm-hmm. A little bit like that one mission that ended up with Arlen dead here, but
yep, a little bit like that.
Just can't get to all of them.
You just can't get to him because he ran off.
Yeah.
I'm good.
He pulled a Han Solo. Let's just chase everybody.
And Arlen, quick question for the game on Tuesday, the Zoth game. That's with M&M rules.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna be flying around, punching things.
Well,
probably
no flying around punching things, but it's
jumping.
It's still jumping around. Yes.
But you've already converted characters.
I've built everything, so it's just if you can show up and play, you can play Sorab as a Mutants and Masterminds character.
And it's what version of the rules set?
It is 3rd edition because that had the best cheat on Roll20.
Oh,
there's actually
it's just D20 with the ability.
Yeah, it's the same thing. It's the game that you've all played 1,000 times. It's D20 plus bonus versus difficulty class.
Right.
So
cool. Awesome.
There's actually, for the 2nd edition Mutants and Masterminds, there's a supplement called Warriors and Warlocks that's based on, among other things, the Marvel Conan comics.
I gotta track
which
that
is
down.
pretty cool.
That's awesome.
But the sheet for 2nd edition on Roll20 sucks. So.
Oh, gotcha.
I just converted things.
I don't think. Yeah, I think it's probably easily convertible.
Yeah, it's real similar. It's not too hard to.
Yeah, I have the DC. I think I still have the DC supplements, which are really cool.
Yeah.
I ran when I was playing Champions a long time ago. I ran a DC Universe Justice League United campaign. It was actually very cool. So, but I had different levels because people wanted to be super, galactic, and people wanted to be, street level. So it's pretty fun.
Yeah.
Cool.
So,
Awesome.
What are we talking about?
Mutants and
Mutants and
Masterminds.
we're converting everything here in this game to champions and mutants and masterminds.
That does seem to be my modus operandi. So
That could be kind of fun. I mean, that could be kind of fun. You have like these sword and sorcery superheroes.
it's also I find it a really handy way to introduce people to new games, because if you've already got a pre-existing idea of what your character can and cannot do, it's at least a foothold in how to figure out what the game is going to be or what to do in the game, and it's just a matter of learning it.
Right.
Though I am glad that we got Doctor Who scratched off last night, because
Nice.
I had no earthly idea how I was going to convert some of these characters over to Doctor Who. All right.
Cool.
So, where you guys find yourself? Let me get you back to the map of Thule Borg here. Boom. So, is somewhere down in the warehouse district here.
Gotcha.
So you guys make your way back to the Dragon's Rest afterwards. I'm assuming is that right?
I think so, because it's still the middle of the night, right?
Yeah, it's still middle of the night.
Yeah.
It was midnight, I think, when you were meeting him, right? Or meeting.
That's right.
Yeah. So, all right. So then, nothing else of interest will happen that evening. What happens next, guys?
So, I mean, just so
What are
we
we?
kept
What's the
up a
timeline?
bit.
Yeah, what's the time?
Well, I think we already did the 3 days of provisioning, Kev, or we have to do that now. We did.
Yeah, no,
yeah,
you guys
so,
are pretty much. You guys are ready to head out if that's what you choose to do. To march out with your army.
unless anybody has anything they want to do before we do the board.
I mean, I know you guys probably discourage it, but I'd probably only talk to Malo because everyone else would not understand. I really think we should talk to one of these sorcerer guilds, whether it's the Ixians or the sorcerer guild itself. I could go to the Ixians. I could, pretend to still be servile to them, since they burn my face, or my Ixian master burned my face. But
and what would
because the enemy of my enemy is my friend, and I would like some sort of. They probably don't like the Second Sons, I'm assuming.
And is it to get information?
And also, I'm a necromancer, and maybe they have new cool spells.
Oh. Well, I would say
I can't lie to Malo.
I think okay. And
I mean, it's a dual purpose, right?
Malo understands and appreciates it. And he said, I would not traffic with the Ixians myself, as you know, but I do not command you. You have a will of your own. So if you wish to engage with them, that is your choice. But I would warn you to be very careful.
Yeah. If I do this, please do not tell Kane. I don't know why she says that, but she says that.
I will tell Kane if we need to rescue you.
No, don't tell Kane.
I will not. Okay, no matter what happens to you.
Don't tell Kane.
I won't tell Kane.
Right. I don't know if you want to do that. I'd like to do that, Kevin.
Yeah.
I know you dissuaded me, but
No, it's not that I'm dissuading. Like the fun thing with this setting is that it's a sandbox setting. It's just that I'm making sure you understand the consequences of.
Well, I know they're fucking bad, but they might have cool spells.
And you have a backup character, you said?
Yeah.
Well, I was actually looking. And maybe I'd run like an Eskimo, an Aleutian or Inuit, like Mist Hunter or something.
Okay, as long as you have an idea for what you're going to play.
Yeah.
We're good to go.
In place of a lord, you would have a dark queen.
Someone to take care of my animals.
Yeah.
I'll probably leave the dogma with Malo.
Okay. So
and then Malo will sort of start organizing, just because that's going to take a while to organize this procession.
Sure. So if this is what you've been doing, give me a rough idea of how you're kind of trying to get in touch. Like this is a incredibly secretive order. They're sort of like, it's like the KGB in Soviet Russia, where everyone knows where to find them, and if you really go looking for them, everyone knows they're sort of present everywhere. But it's difficult to just walk up and be like, "Hey, Mr. KGB, let's have a chat."
Right.
I think honestly, I think I would. She would just try to remember what she did to not get super beaten all the time from her master.
Well, and
who I'm going to call, who I'm going to name Thulgas, the Ixian sorcerer.
Zul'Gath.
I'm almost
Thulgas,
reticent.
Thulgas, Thulgas.
Well,
I think I looked it up as a Thracian name somewhere.
I don't even know if I should help you with this, but they do have a ship that docked recently.
Yeah. Well, I think she would just go to the gate and prostrate herself before there, reveal her mask and.
Oof, before the tower.
Yeah.
Okay.
And just knock on the door, so to speak, but be as servile as possible.
Okay.
Which is a hard freaking thing to do. But
yeah. Okay. So we'll say that this is going to happen.
And if they ignore me, then the boat would be a second option.
Yeah. Okay. So the Ixian Tower is, of course, this, massive, segmented spire of onyx or obsidian colored stone, towering up in the northeastern part of the city. The edifice itself is not quite as big, but certainly is as prominent as Thule Keep itself. You have to pass effectively like a ghetto in order to get there. The ghetto that borders on the sprawling graveyard next to it, and where the
convenient.
Where the chapel to, I think it's Mordigian.
Well, that's my god, so I should go there.
Yeah, if you, the god of graves, if you wish to pray there, that is where. That is one of his temples, right here, on the far side of the graveyard.
Oh, wow. That's on the far side. Okay.
Yeah, and the actual entrance itself is an enormous series of black doors, like that seem polished as the stone that makes up the tower itself.
Yeah. So is that right here where this break is?
Yes, it is. There's a where those are basically like cliffs leading up to it. There are two sort of like ramparts that seem to have been built up, ages and ages ago, and then there's the tower itself that swoops up, and no doubt foundations that sink deep beneath the earth as well too. So if you make yourself, you get yourself out there, and it is. There's no obvious guards. There's no one who is looking down to watch you. So you just place your weapons down and then get on your knees.
Yep.
Okay. So you remain there for.
Probably remove my helm, and if anyone is listening, then I say I once served as a gardener to Thulgas. He taught me all I know.
Okay. And so can you type the name of your master in chat as well too, just so I can write it down?
Yeah, hopefully you don't have this name somewhere in your lore.
As
it sounded nefarious enough and somewhat
works for me. Okay. So the leaving yourself exposed to the climate here, while the rest of the city is bustling and it's got that boomtown quality to it, here it feels remarkably isolated. You probably are close to 100 feet above where everyone else is. The slums to the west and to the southeast are quiet, relatively speaking. And you feel very alone and exposed up here. Why don't you give me a save versus death? And you die, and you're done. So.
That was quick.
Surprise twist!
Yeah, bummer. Okay.
Okay.
I will use. You know what? I'll just use my.
Astonishing Fortune?
Sure.
Sure. Okay. So you grit
There you
through
go.
this, and no, auto success. Remember?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Astonishing Fortune is better than hero points. You can just trade it in for auto success. So you're waiting there for a time. No doubt your mind drifting back to your experience when you were an acolyte or a apprentice to Thulgas.
Yeah, I guess so. So I guess the way I picture it, so she was just like a slave, a gardener, but her master saw that she had the gift, but still punished her for it,
Okay.
and that's why half her face is burned
Yeah.
to, I guess, test her resolve and resilience.
So
But that's how
sure.
rite of passage for learning the dark secrets.
So you're not sure whether you drifted off for a moment, or whether, you're not sure of an alternative, but there is now someone standing directly before you. Long robes, black, with designs of various arcane symbols and such, stitching along the hem of the robe. And you don't remember this person coming out. They just suddenly find themselves standing there. And they say to you, "Lost are you?"
No, I am here on purpose.
"And what purpose, young lady?"
I represent the pride of Thule, and I seek an alliance with the brethren of my former master.
"What brethren do you speak for?"
Yourselves, you Ixian, you necromancers of Ix. I'm speaking to her in Ixian, and this person in Ixian.
Yep, and likewise his voice is speaking back to you as well, too.
And I repeat that I was trained and initiated, and I point to my burned face, by Thulgas of wherever he's from.
"Your disfigurement speaks of a poor student, not one who mastered her craft. You show this as demonstration of your competence. I see. One who fumbles with toys and blades and neglects her master's teachings."
I do not know the wisdom of my master, but he felt that I should blend both the gift and whatever he felt was the Amazonian natural ability to fight. I do not know.
Thought you too ignorant for the true secrets.
Perhaps, and maybe then you are the wiser one and could teach me these true secrets.
Why would you think yourself capable of mastering our secrets?
One can only do.
Ignorant, scarred, seeking secrets without offering any of your own. Bring me secrets, Iphigenia, and we will see if your mind can contain the might of our knowledge. And at a blink, you open your eyes, and you are alone.
Okay. I guess, well, after that, I will go to the if I didn't go to the temple before.
This could have happened before you, because you did mention it last time too, and it could have happened before you were kidnapped. So you do seem to have, depending on how your character wants to approach this, I mean, you do seem to be replete.
Yeah, I've been wanting to do this.
With secrets, yeah. Like so we can assume that's happened. So,
okay.
I mean, I don't want to speak for your character, but I mean, I imagine that you have tons of fucking secrets you just learned.
Okay. I mean, but I guess I didn't go into the room, or I barely peeked into the room where. I mean, these guys are necromancers, so I figured they might be interested in undead. So I tell them about the Hyperborean undead that we saw.
Let me give you think of what your character. What will they already know? These are masters of necromancy. What they're interested in is a trade-off of secrets for secrets. At least that's what that voice told you. It is unlikely that something like, "Hey, you know, the dead will come back." Do you think that's going to be new news to them?
No. I'm talking about the undead that are manifest at Ironfang Keep.
The ghosts.
They might have heard it. Yeah, they might have heard of the battle there, but maybe not that there's still spirits there.
Do you think that would be sufficient of value? That, hey, I saw some ghosts.
No. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to. I guess it's like a trade-off. I don't even know, like, what do we have that are. I mean,
or what can you uncover? You guys can feel free to give suggestions as well too.
I want to and I don't want to at the same time.
But I mean,
you can do, you know, as you feel like your character would, but there's things that we know about, like the operations of the Rangers, what's going on with the Trout. I know, I figured not, but the Trout is another one that's been around forever and maybe is involved, and they might.
Our big secret is is like the tomb. But
the tomb and all of the Hyperborean items we found.
And Amar's origins.
Right. Yeah. Where all the, like, devil on your shoulder, like...
Yeah.
Tell him about Amar. Or maybe you have a personal secret.
No,
like, you obviously, they don't know that you disdain them.
Yeah.
That's a secret?
So far.
I hate you all. No, so, from there.
It is not the Warlock Tyrant's tomb.
He doesn't know that.
Well, see, I love the optimistic that these evil necromancers will not be able to tell the difference when I'm lying. Bold choice.
I'll just say I'm a stupid girl. Sorry, it was a prince or something.
Yeah, I'm sure that's gonna get you what you want.
I mean, I'm banking on the fact that they think that I think I'm a loser. So.
Okay. So what are before you guys set forth from Thule, are you planning on going back and trying to? Because the thing I would weigh in mind is because she knows, no doubt, like with her experience with Tulgas, they are cruel. They are can't necessarily be trusted, but they do truck in packs. So if you do have something of value that will be of value for them, a secret that will be something that can help them expand their power, that is something that they would definitely be interested in. Idle speculation, idle rumor, you know that won't be of...
Yeah, but we do know the location. I mean, and I'm sure it has...
But what value is that to them if they have no way of getting access to it, if they have...
And I promise I would bring them treasures from there.
That is not a secret.
No.
That is a hope that you will survive the experience and then come back. This is what's going on in your mind right now. This is sort of the devil's advocate. You're like, oh, I could do this. And you're like, no, fuck, that's... Yeah.
But maybe if he brings something back at some point...
Again, that assumes you'll survive the experience.
No, I know, but I mean, he might be thinking, another devil's advocate, it's like, well, maybe I need to do this first and find out if there's a secret I can bring back to them.
Yeah.
I would like to say, I think it was a bad idea to talk to the Necromancers of Ix in the first place. So maybe not talking to them again would be the best solution.
I just would like a some more allies that have some sort of power and sinisterness to counter the second sons.
You have a lot of
we don't
voices
have
in your
enough
head.
enemies. We need more enemies.
Plus, the last time I followed Arlen's advice, we burned the ship.
I like that Iphigenia has all these voices in her head.
I know.
Well, it explains a
And
lot.
some barking and neighing. And
Yeah.
Well, I mean, is really.
But I don't think if they're that powerful, we really don't have anything.
Well,
for them.
True, and also if the only
In truth,
if you feel like your only real objective is to
The only
get
cool
spells,
thing we had that they probably would have wanted was that black mirror that we destroyed. So.
well,
But I don't think they want
do
any
have a couple.
objects.
You have a couple pretty juicy secrets you could give. It's just you may not be willing to give those up.
Yeah, I think they just want knowledge, not things. And we may find
you're
spells other
muted, Carl.
ways too.
The Rangers and what else? I didn't. You said you mentioned the Rangers.
Amar.
I don't know.
The Mars secret, is
Yeah.
the big one.
Like,
Everybody's looking for
it's
him.
difficult to judge in games that have fantasy stuff. It's difficult to judge what stuff is unprecedented. But like from what your character should be taking away from your meeting with the Rangers is Amar making his way here bodily across space and time is completely unheard of. It is using a magic that is that no one has ever mastered, even these ancient races, and that's why he is such an incredibly potentially dangerous pawn, in this thing. If there's more to be learned of, the process that brought Amar here, imagine you are a powerful sorcerer or evil alien being or whatnot, and you somehow mastered the ability to travel throughout space and time. That's fucking terrifying. There already is at least one race that does travel that way. They're only able to cast their consciousness across time. If Amar may lead, his secrets may lead to maybe at least a demonstration of one successful use of such an ability. Holy smokes!
Yeah, but if we tell them about Amar, surely all they're gonna want to do is capture Amar to do experiments
And
on him and
dissect
stuff
him.
like
Oh
that.
fuck yeah. No,
Which just
I'm not
nets
telling
us-
you it's a worthwhile trade. I'm
Well,
just saying,
I'm just saying
you
for
have secrets of
Iphigenia.
value.
It,
I mean, I
it,
can
it
try,
just
man.
nets us another enemy who wants to take down the party.
Yeah.
Yes, it does.
And,
I'm not gonna-
and,
But that gives us more experience points. No.
Well, I'm not going to betray. I'm not going to betray my companion.
and Iphigenia would know that Malo also is looking for spells, so the two of them together could be trying to figure out places where they can acquire new spellcasting information.
Yeah. I
So this isn't the only option.
Yeah, and just because the Necromancers of Ix have necromancers in their names, it doesn't mean it's the only place you could potentially track down spells and things like that.
Yeah, I mean,
Like,
eventually I
they-
want to go to the Sorcerers Guild. For
Yeah,
example.
like the Sorcerers...
They're just as bad, right?
what's that?
Secretive.
I think
from
the Ixians
Comarium?
are the worst. Well, I'm from Comarium, so...
Yeah,
Okay.
like the Sorcerers Guild is... I mean, they're just as scheming and self-interested and whatnot too, but they are not pursuing a specific sort of state agenda the way that, the Necromancers of Ix are. The Sorcerers Guild does not... They're a powerful part of the city-state of Cromarium, but they are not a nation that, that they rule. Whereas the Necromancers of Ix, they run that fucking joint.
Right.
Yeah, and the Sorcerers Guild is more a traditional, coin is the, what do you call it, or wealth and jewels and whatnot is the coin of the realm for them. Whereas the Necromancers of Ix, they're not sort of like open for all. As I said, like the difference here would be like reporting to, say, your local police station versus the KGB. You know, I'm using, they're not great direct cognates, but I mean, the one is a much more approachable and is sort of open to the public, and it's not necessarily like, you know, it has arcane processes and stuff like that, and there is a certain, there's a potential element of them being able to exercise their power over you, but it's not the same thing as like KGB, which is going to assume that if you're approaching them, if you're trying to get to them, they're going to be immediately, you'll draw their attention, they'll be interested in you. The Ixians no doubt have some interest in you now because you've approached them,
which is fine.
Yeah.
But I mean, on the other hand too, I don't know if I necessarily, like you said, the time travel thing, and I don't know if if Virginia would necessarily believe that. I might just think that's crazy talk, and you know, honestly, Amar is just from somewhere else in Hyperborea.
Well, you've never seen anyone like him before. I can tell you that.
But he looks somewhat Lemurian, I guess.
Nope. Lemurians are East Asian.
Yeah.
I was fixed to say he probably would, based on to some extent my reading. He would probably look closest to an Ixian.
Yeah, you're definitely swarthier. You've got your features.
That's true. They look like Persian, right? So Ixians are like Thracian. Yeah. So there you go. I mean, okay. I wouldn't necessarily buy it without more evidence. Plus
okay. Well, I mean that's fair. That's why
I don't think it's like a secret. So I will have to tell the Ixian, well, I do not know if I have any secrets that are worthy of your magnificence.
Well, if you've got nothing to offer, they've got nothing to offer you then. Yeah.
Okay.
So
I just don't think I have anything for them.
Okay, that's fair.
I say if I do find something, I will return.
Okay. You're sort of shouting us up at an empty tower.
Yeah.
They don't. Your face tells you that failing to live up to the expectations of your masters carries a pretty heavy toll with the Ixians.
Okay. I guess I need a fireball.
Well, the great thing is now they'll be watching us, so that's good.
Yeah.
yeah, we got that going.
Maybe it's like the KGB.
My matrix of like negative renown is just getting so complicated.
Mine is 10. Actually, I think that was cool because I did want to hear. I wanted to get to know the Ixians and who they were, because they sound cool in the worst possible way. So actually, that was a cool scene to watch.
Yeah, there's one. I mean, everyone's, with this whole time in here, everyone's kind of had opportunities, except for Reagan, to kind of have. Oh no, Reagan, you had that time with that pirate.
Yeah. Got a nickname.
Right. So, is there anything else, guys, that's going to happen in Thuleborg before you guys head out with your army? Oh, Carl, you're muted again.
I keep muting him. I don't want him to go talk to the Ixians.
No more talking to the necromancers.
I do tell Malo what happened, and
okay.
No, let's roleplay this. This is going to be fantastic.
I felt somewhat disappointed by them because they didn't know anything.
Oh, what did you find out? Did you get any spells from them?
No,
quite a while.
They didn't. They're sexist. They didn't even let me in the tower.
Oh, was that what happened?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I forget.
One language that Iphigenia does not speak is sarcasm.
I forget Ixians are afraid of women.
Oh. Okay, well, Malo doesn't quite believe all of that as the simple explanation, but he's going to go along with it because he figures he has an idea what might have happened.
Yeah, she's falling back on her Amazonian female supremacy thing.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so Malo just claps on her shoulders. Do not worry, friend. We shall find more magics together.
Mm.
And I didn't tell Kane. Don't worry.
She breathes a sigh of relief.
Okay. Give me a sec here, guys.
And Arlen, was there anything the Aotei needed to do before?
I think we already did my thing, which was that I got drunk and stumbled around naked.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, you got your carousing on.
Yep. Awesome. Okay. So I think we all got to do what we want to do
It's
for
fine.
now. We can always come back to Tuleborg at some point.
Yep.
Hopefully.
Maybe.
Yeah.
As long as it took
Maybe.
us to get here the first
I know exactly. So in 28 more sessions, we'll be back here. So
We have, I think we've
regular
spent,
question. What's the space?
what, like it's been 3 or 4 sessions now in Tuleborg, hasn't it?
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
What session are we at?
20.
20. Yeah. So it's number
Awesome.
20. Pretty
Yeah.
cool.
Okay.
Well,
And now we're
reach
gonna
a
go
year.
back. We're gonna go back exactly the way we came.
Yeah, which is going to be interesting with the army.
Totally.
Okay.
I recommend everyone buy great helms.
After we discovered what lassos do.
Holy, oh my god! Yeah, if you watch the episode, I don't want to take any time, but if you watch the episode, like my character rolled a crit on a lasso.
Yeah.
Look it up.
I seem to remember that the greatest thief in the world played more of a role in that enemy's defeat, but
Well, the greatest thief talked a lot, but
he did talk a lot.
he got a couple backstabs in.
He did get a couple backstabs in, and he didn't die, which was really shocking to me.
That's respectable.
Yeah. Thieves are awesome in Ash.
Yeah, that's pretty neat.
Mm-hmm,
That could be a potential next character too, because I just saw like the Black Lotus Tong and the Guild look interesting, like interesting factions.
Definitely, yeah. Okay, so let me see here. I needed to set one quick thing up here, guys.
As you're setting that up, Kev, did you gain any other insight into Ash as a player? Since that was the first
That's
time
a
you
good
played.
question. Yeah.
So you know what? Like a lot of times, when I play a game, I have a different. To be honest, I prefer being a DM just because I like
Yeah.
this role, you know, and whatever. I enjoy playing. I enjoy playing a supporting role when I can. I prefer to play like I said in the thing, the noisy sidekick. What's his name? My Hobbit was also a noisy sidekick, right? Like you guys were the
Totally,
heroes. I was there to be like, you know, when we need some color added.
Although instrumental.
Yeah.
It was, yeah, like the
Yeah,
talkie
had his
scenes
first
were
play,
great,
definitely.
and my tanking stuff too, like the ability I could do to do the what do you call it? It's like the defensive shit in the combat scenes was really, it's a really clever little mechanic that allowed me to be useful.
Yeah.
But it's I love this game both as a player and as a DM. Like I would play this game again in a heartbeat. It
Yeah.
was so much fun, and we didn't even we played Iron Man rules. There were no Astonishing Fortune.
Yeah.
So we that was pretty exciting. What else? I mean, the way that the one thing I would say is that the second having 2 segments. We've talked about this before too, but having 2 different segments in each phase, or 2 different phases in each turn, is a bit weird because you do.
Yeah.
There's a lot of wasted time on that second phase. So
Yeah.
I'm not 100% sure that it's like I like this time. There's times where it does come up where, you know, you timing that second phase attack or whatever else is really valuable. I'm not sure that it's present. The value of it comes up enough times because, like in our game, I think there was maybe 3 or 4 times when people saved their actions for second phase. You know, we had 2 pretty substantial fights in it. So that's the only thing that I'm not sure.
I agree, and I watched part of that game as I was typing into the chat, and that was my experience too. It was like not being a player. I was like, just realized, like I never noticed it as a player because I'm so busy figuring out what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
But I wonder if there's an alternate way to.
Well, if I had, you know what? Like
Although,
if-
I will say, I think it changes as you go up levels and have more stuff to do as a character, that it makes a lot more sense to start, you know, splitting up your attacks or doing it, right? If you've got 3 attacks in a round, it starts to make a lot more sense to do, I'm going to do 2 melee and then 1 melee instead of front load all 3 or you know, all of that sort of stuff.
It's just the situations where that does come up, where that's the optimal play, it seems pretty limited.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it increases as you get higher level and have more stuff to do, but I agree that it's still a little odd.
You compare that to PF2 or to Champions we played recently too, where like the action economy, deciding how you're spending your turns, all of it is meaty. All of it's got useful bits to it, you know?
Yep.
Whatever your decision is, there is a consequence for how you're choosing to spend that time. I think in that entire session, there wasn't a single time when that second phase was meaningful to me whatsoever.
Yeah.
You know, and it wasn't, I mean, the fights we had weren't quite, they weren't very mobile, so maybe that would have a different role, but that was an interesting insight, is where I'm not sure if that is just it is so situational for when the division of it up into 2 phases where it really does have a consequence. Spellcasters, I suppose it does, because you can try and save for the second phase to avoid getting spell interruption because of the way the sequence goes, but yeah, I mean, if that just means that, you know, the spellcasters will always go after everyone gets to make their melee and their ranged attacks, which is that's the consequence of going second, then that's also, I guess, kind of like that. I'm not sure that adds a lot of interesting decision making, because if you do have multiple attacks, what you might do is make sure you're going to get a second hit on the wizard on that second round to fuck up their ability to cast spells, which feels more metagamey than interesting tactical or like swords and sorcery simulationist. So I don't know. I mean, like,
I don't know. I can see it both ways. I mean, it all depends on how you put it in your mind, right? Because you might, it's almost like holding an action where you're saying, well, I want to see what's going on before I spend my attacks. I want to put them where they're most useful. Oh, hey, that wizard is doing something. Now I can, you know.
And I will say in its favor, the game would function just fine without the 2 phases thing, right? You could just play with
convention play. In convention play, like the GMs, when I played Hyperborea, they just did away with the 2 phases. You declare.
Yeah. It does screw over wizards if you do that.
It makes sense because it's a little complicated for a new player, but
I guess if you use the optional rules for spell interruption, but where you could try and avoid spell interruption, but I mean, it does become pretty punishing for the spellcasters if they just need to be attacked, especially low levels. If the range attacks and melee attacks happen before them, but then you're talking about changing the game even further, so...
Well, so sorry, I didn't mean to just derail. But
no, it's interesting. I mean, I think it's I mean, I that said, I mean, like, I would play it again in a heartbeat. I was
gonna say, and I think all of us love the game. This is just
definitely. It was. I tell you, when it was very difficult figuring what character I wanted to play too.
Totally.
You know, like, I knew I didn't want to play a frontline fighter. I knew we had a lot of clerics in the group. I knew we had at least one wizard. So it kind of fell into the things, and I decided to go with bog standard thief, and then just try and make it as like a big a personality as I could to fill up the fact that I'm just playing a first level thief.
It was cool. I thought it was a good combo, and I thought Arlen did, as usual, a great job GMing the game. So
100%.
It was actually fun playing just a straight cleric too. I didn't mind. I like kind of the options they have. So.
Cool.
Yeah, cool.
Awesome.
All right, so I was setting something up here. Hold on.
Yeah, I was supposed to be.
No, I see you trying to take me away. No, Captain, don't set anything up. Go ahead and talk more.
I don't want to give him more time to come up with terrible things.
I know, because then he'll grab a book from behind him.
Exactly.
Oh, you can bet your sweet Bippy I'm grabbing a book behind me. Oh, man.
Like, oh, wait, I remember the perfect monster that will make having the 2 phases worthwhile. It has 20 attacks.
You guys have
good one, like Carrion Crawler would be
I don't know if you guys know him personally or if you know him on Twitter, but Eric Fabiacci, I think his name. So Eric, I love it because he keeps tweeting pictures from the older books from like Monster Manual 1 and whatnot, and he'll just like tweet the picture of it and be like, oh, this is so great, and I keep being like, ooh, I'm using that next time. Ooh, I'm using that next time. So
please stop doing that.
Yeah. When you guys face the inevitable not bog hag, but the black hag, you can have him to thank for that.
Oh, great. I brought a ton of books back with me.
Awesome.
Not as many as I carry. I have so many. I had to ship them all here, but I just grabbed the ones that I thought would be fun to have.
Well, I had this morning, James, who plays in our Sunday morning games like the Star Trek and those things too, he was home house sitting for the weekend, so he picked up a bunch. I just got a stream of photos of his old gaming stuff, and he's got like original, or not the original, like, paperbacks, but like the first box set for Rollmaster. He's got all of those, and the Clawmaster, and, or, what is it, Creatures and Treasures, and the, is it Rangers of Athelion? Is that the... No,
Sounds right.
There's one of the Merc books that was about the Rangers. The original printing ones. And I'm like, oh, I remember all of these.
Awesome. That's very cool.
Okay, let's see here. I keep using the same city map for you guys. I feel a little bad about that. Do I feel bad enough to load a different map? Maybe. Let's see here. Because I actually just got some new... I've got Low Fantasy Gaming later today. And
and Arlen, are we playing
Paladin today? Yeah.
Paladin? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
okay,
the
cool.
plan.
Great.
At least you and Jeff, and maybe Dave, the other Dave.
That prize of the previous one. Right?
Yeah, that's just Roncesvalles again. But I had so much fun the first time.
It was really fun. You'll have a great time.
I'm looking forward to it.
Second verse, same as the first.
Are those online, or is it a podcast?
The Paladin?
Yeah.
Yeah. We're just playing on Roll20.
Okay. No. I meant streaming. I'd be curious to.
I probably will not record it because the image will be mostly me looking at the PDF of the Paladin Adventures book, so it would be pretty boring to watch.
Right. But there's no podcast for it, or
you could record the audio, couldn't you, and post it onto your
I could do audio. That's a good point.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah. Cool.
I'm full of them.
I'm curious about it. I'm just not. It doesn't really grab me as a theme for some reason. So.
Well, I think what's interesting about that actually is that there's certain games that have very few actual plays to watch.
Right.
So it'd be interesting for people to hear what it's hear what it sounds like.
Yeah.
Well, I can actually, instead of recording me doing it, why don't I just point you in the direction of the best actual play that I've found of it, Robert? And
okay,
there you go.
Okay.
Kevin did mention dragons a little while ago, so I'm getting a little bit nervous.
Yeah,
it would be cool to see an army fight a dragon.
I did order my, or I have my copy of the like 2.5 printing of the Monster Manual, which has some of my favorites.
I have mine arriving today.
Oh,
is that
nice.
The hardcover one from second edition.
They want these covers.
Yes, with those covers. Yeah.
Oh, that cover.
Like
I never owned these ones. I only had the originals.
You know what? Yeah, like I was out of D&D at that point, and to be honest, like I really, really hate the art in them. It's so off-putting. It's just that I don't know if there was someone who was a relation to somebody or what the deal was there, but it's just fucking awful. But the Monster Manual has a lot of Rich Butler art in it, which is kind of I like.
Yeah.
Okay. So here we go, guys. I gotta put the grid on here. Boom. Does that work? Yes, it does. Excellent. Okay. So let's place you guys. I'm not going to do dynamic lighting in here because I just don't have. I'm not going to sit and make you guys watch me make walls. Let's find our tokens. Thrilling as that may be, I'm sure. Where did I last leave?
It would be helpful for people learning how to use Roll20.
I did run a session not too long ago with that. That was basically it was part Starfinder. Arlen, you played in that.
Yeah. It was good.
Part
it was
Starfinder.
It's a fun kind of discussion also of talking about what goes into running the game on the back end.
On Roll20?
On Roll20.
Yeah.
Which session was that?
Skitter Shot.
Oh yeah. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun. It was a really good. We played with Leslie, I think was her name.
Yeah, she seemed cool. I wish she would.
She is pretty cool. Yeah,
rejoin.
Trying to find excuses to get her back to the table again because she's.
Yeah. I mean, I can see just by looking at this screen why she wouldn't want to come to the game.
Okay.
Have you changed the map, Kevin?
I have not. I haven't moved you guys over yet.
Okay. Who's I was
missing?
like, man, he's talking about putting stuff on a map. I'm like, I don't see a new map. Freaking out here.
I do like building up the tension. So there's.
Yeah.
That's because Amar, you're no longer here. No.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You'll miss me when I'm gone.
That's right.
Oh yeah, we didn't ask about Amar's weird phasing in and out of reality, did we?
I almost did, but I assumed
at some point.
I assumed it was a DM explanation why he wasn't here, so I didn't want to force Kevin to make something up.
Yeah, so based on what the Rangers, the Borean Rangers said, then I guess he was possessed by these Ithians.
Or he was getting pulled back into his dimension the magic wasn't holding, or there's probably some.
Or he's a secret agent.
For when Amar disappeared, you mean?
Yeah, when he phased in and out of reality just before the Siege of Iron Fang Keep.
Yeah, you guys never asked about that.
Yeah.
Seems like that there might have been some good juice to get from that, eh?
Well, they've heard.
Well, it's because Will wasn't around.
You guys would have. No. The I don't. In previous campaigns, I've given like magical reasons for why that shit happens. For this one, there's a reason I haven't. It's always like you're watching the horses. Amar is the notable exception to that.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah. That was not a matter of like he's watching the horses. Remember this? We played out the scene where Kane was talking to him, and then he suddenly was just not there.
Right.
And he suddenly found himself back. If you did ask them about that, Amar, that would have concerned the Rangers quite a bit. Because if you are being pulled elsewhere, that means that whatever thing it is, whether it's a ritual or arcane technology or whatever pulled you from your place, may have been trying to tug you elsewhere. So that is of great concern to them. It also may mean that there may be something about you that happened or something that would, because it would be you pulled through this, like as if you were a fish on the end of a hook and being tugged back and forth by some unknown being trying to bring you closer. The terrifying thing is, that could, you don't recall anything prompting that. The recollection you have of where you were pulled was not remarkable. It was an unusual city you'd never been to.
Right.
Having walked around the streets of Tuleborg now, you can tell it was definitely not Tuleborg. Tuleborg is not as advanced as the place you were. And you saw that weird, elaborate carriage go by too, right?
Right.
And there was that dead woman's body who was wearing strange clothing.
And the guy pursued.
Yeah.
Into the mists, if I remember properly.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So it's that likewise is of great concern. Maybe let's end with dealing with this. We go. I don't know if this will take half an hour, but because this is definitely something that you may want to explore with the Rangers a little further. So you tell them about your recollections of having disappeared and the sensations beforehand and whatnot, and they go through the explanation of the fish on the end of a hook too. Mm-hmm. How does Amar react to that?
He's not in two places at once, so I'm either here or there, but I'm never one place permanently. This could happen at any time. Is it related to?
So in place of the hook, you could very well be, it could be a curse, an ensorcelment of some kind, something that has been imbued to you, which would doubly be of concern. That would make you doubly important to recover personally. There's something that is about you that is allowing you to travel through this, to make these travels and to be pulled off in these other directions. That's concerning, you know. What they could... what the Rangers could do is, if your quartet is so inclined, they could try and basically anchor you in some way, have everyone to help stabilize you and spread effectively the weight that keeps you here, that keeps you anchored in this time, you know, across everyone.
And that would increase the pull on this side.
Exactly. It would hopefully
correct.
prevent you from being pulled off in any other direction. In which case, it may not be permanent, and it may not be, you know, it may not last for. It may not be effective. You know, depending on how powerful this. No doubt, like the knowledge and will to pull a person across time and space is. Like, this is, in this land, you know, like, and keeping with the game as well, too, the game caps out spells at 6th level. We're not in a world of wish and, you know, the kind of, you know, superhero-esque power levels. Like, everything is within a restricted scope. This is magical technology beyond anything imaginable, you know, and what they could at best do is try that. Try and spread that sort of, like, if that spiritual anchor across your quartet. You say you forged a bond. This would be spreading that bond further.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea, because you'd hate for me to go in the middle of combat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The downside, of course, is that if you are all attached to that hook, what happens when he's pulled?
Right, we're all gonna go.
We all get pulled.
But then we got a new place to loot and pillage.
Reavers of Earth.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right, exactly.
Reavers of Yith.
Reavers of Mars.
Oh man.
Or Barthoom.
Awesome.
So, is that something you would agree to? Your quartet would agree to?
I would have to speak with them, but
Okay.
I have no objection.
Okay. So what they will do is then, maybe let's say you're spending one extra night in Thuleborg, because this will take them a little bit of time to get this stuff together if the rest of the group agrees. So let's say you guys are in the corner of the Dragon's Rest. You know, you're that corner that you guys have taken over when you were doing your hiring, when you're doing interviewing. Now is the time to talk about whether you... Well, let Amar, how would he bring that up to everyone else?
Of course, Kane's not here, so I can't have him regale it. Because he's so good at that.
Yeah,
one night.
Kane, I think we can safely say, would be on board.
Yes. I would think so.
Would he be the first one you would confide in, too?
Yes, I have a deep affection for Kane.
Okay.
Amar is very close to Kane.
You're not the only one. Ha ha ha.
He really sees him as he is what he is, and there's no pretension or falsehood or real ego with Kane, and that's an admirable quality. So that would be the first person he would talk to. And then, you know, once Kane says, he would be on board with it, then I would think Amar would come with Kane and they would describe, you know, what it means, what the Rangers were truly talking about, and being pulled back and forth, and explain, you know, what would happen if we were in the middle of, you know, a combat or something, or, you know, if I could be holding a rope and somebody could be on the other end of it and I could vanish and they could plummet.
Yeah.
So the Rangers have explained to me that they can perform a ritual that would take some of the pull away from me and spread it across all of us. so that I'm less likely to leave in the middle of anything.
Well, also, in a grander scheme too, it prevents them from fixing whatever, assuming that the ritual was not intended to just pull you and randomly drop you in Hyperborea. It prevents them from correcting whatever error was made when you were transported before and having you brought to whatever, evil intelligence had initiated your transportation. Like, oh, I forgot to carry that too. I guess it's an alien. That Zipzark. I should have carried that Zipzark. Let me correct that, and boom, now we got you.
So that's the way Amar approaches it and explains it to everybody, to the group.
Mm-hmm. And what does the group think?
Interesting.
I mean, interested in Reagan's unwillingness to go along with magical curses and stuff like that too. That might be a bit of a challenge for her, huh?
Yeah.
Well, you know how much Payne hates sorcery.
Yeah.
He was the first one to sign on.
That's true.
Yeah, she's definitely not. Yeah, she's listening to this at the moment. I mean, she's learned to trust Amar, but he can also see that she's very concerned. And did they give any? Yeah, putting myself in a situation where there's magic that I don't understand. I don't know.
What do you not understand about? What are you specifically referring to?
That, do we know all of the possible side effects?
The main theoretically issue would be if there was a strong enough tug away from here that not only would I go, but we would all go. Which is actually, in my mind, not that bad. I'd much rather be all
being alone
than being alone. Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what happened to Preda.
Right. We'll find Preda eventually. Malos has no problem with this whatsoever. He's on a mission from God, Auroros. Yes, I blew for this reference. So whatever is meant to be is meant to be. Like, his destiny is his destiny. So he's obviously a stalwart companion of Amar. So he feels like wherever, and Amar clearly has become a very important figure in what's going on. So perhaps Amar would wind up bringing us all to the very place we needed to be to stop the threat from attacking Thule. So he has no problem with it at all.
Yeah, Iphigenia has no problem.
I mean, does Amar seem concerned when he's expressing this to us, or what's his demeanor?
Amar's, well, there's two things. The first thing is letting the group down in a moment of crisis. So that's the first thing Amar is concerned with. Mm-hmm. The second thing Amar is concerned with is what if he gets pulled just enough to not be anywhere?
Interesting.
Non-existence, or eternity in the astral plane alone, or whatever. That's the other thing that Amar is concerned with to some extent, is not being able to truly be somewhere.
Right. I believe that we may find the answer to how to ensure you remain where you wish to be from this tomb, perhaps, since it has something to do with all of these forces that are coming and going from Thule across the worlds of space and time. So we will add that to our list of objectives to try to figure out a way so you do not get lost in space.
Danger!
Exactly. So I wasn't going to say it.
What about Arter? Arter's been pretty quiet throughout this.
Yeah, he's kind of feeling like, well, this is, things have been good. If this is the cost, then that's, I've sort of gotten a free ride so far, and especially if Kane is going along, he tends to think that Kane is the sort of de facto
the bee's
leader of the
knees.
bunch.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's true.
So
Kane never seems to be concerned about anything in a good way.
Okay.
Yep.
Yes.
So then, Reagan. I guess that leaves.
She kind of looks at the others, and she doesn't say what she's thinking. Internally, she's thinking that her father basically conquered fears for her, and she's grown to care about these people. So she pauses a long moment and says, I can do no else but to come with you.
Nice.
If you go.
It's interesting that she didn't bring up the her father's connection with the land either when you were speaking with the Rangers.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay. Then the day before you guys set forth, you guys all meet up with them once more, and there is a ritual performed that will. Does anyone have any thoughts as to what this might look like? I imagine there's bloodletting.
Lots of, I don't know.
Their knowledge of the
masks, since they have all these totems and stuff.
Well, that is the they were tricking you to going to the that thing. That's their culture for sure. I think what they do is it's actually a piece of like. It looks. It is a pyramid-shaped kind of object that appears to be made of like a greasy, black, and porous stone. It has the uneven kind of texture to it that appears to be like coral, but it is very hard. It is smooth. And at least to the touch, it's smooth. It's not rough the way you would expect coral to be, but it is porous and twisted and whatnot, shaped into this pyramidical shape. Each of you will place a hand on this thing, and then that same woman with the blue eyes, she will be intoning an invocation in a language that you do not understand, but is clearly not intended to be spoken by a human tongue. From the clicking and weird, like wheezing and things that are said throughout this, and I think you've got at best. Let me turn off the fucking what do you call it? The
Intermission
tavern noise. Yeah, this is the mountain tavern noise in the background. This is something a little creepier. There we go. And you each have fairly horrific, very personalized visions in the course of this tying you guys together. And in the course of doing that, of binding your fate, you each do have an insight into that. And what we'll end with is each of you has a brief vision of terror. And I want you guys to tell each other what the vision of terror that you each share with each other. You don't need to go into a full scene necessarily. It could be just a single image. It could be an impression, but it's something that will stick with each of you. So who has theirs in mind? Again, it doesn't need to be a full scene or anything like that. It could be a single image. It could be an impression.
Sure, I'll start.
Okay.
Right.
So I think it's the sort of feeling of being out in the wilderness alone, maybe with a campfire, maybe the fire has died down to just embers, and then right on the back of Arter's neck, he can sense the sort of heavy breathing of some animal, and he can smell the rotted meat smell of carnivore breath, and that's it. That's all he gets.
Love it. Yep. Perfect.
I have Iphigenia's.
Yep.
All right. So she's definitely afraid of fire to some degree from being burned, but in this vision of terror, she's completely immolated but still can see. But the terror part, not just the fire and being burned and smelling her own cooking flesh and hair, but she looks around and she sees her companions just staring and doing nothing.
Love it. Yeah.
And I think
Reagan has. Oh, go ahead.
Reagan. MacLeod is kind of, for some reason, at the top of the world, like staring at the Aurora Borealis, and turns to his companions, Aotei, Virginia, and they're not. None of them are there. And when he turns back, he's just sort of out in the middle of nowhere, by himself. No idea how he got there. No idea how to get out of here. And basically feels like he's consumed by a vast sea of stars, and he is a completely insignificant speck, like a Lovecraftian moment.
Okay.
Yes. Reagan is looking into. Well, she's looking at her hand, and she sees the ring that was on it when the cursed ring. She raises her head to look into a mirror and sees her father as basically a skeletal form, like she would have become.
Yeah.
Okay.
And what about Amar?
Well, like I was saying, the greatest fear is to be in a state of life with no ability to interact or die, because that one of the tenets with Sikhism is being able to perform good deeds, pursue the spiritual, and eliminate the ego, and that's done by interacting with others, and to be able to have that for reincarnation. And so being put in a state of basically eternal existence is kind of scary.
Love it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Awesome. Okay, so then, guys, that is the ritual concludes. Next session at 21, we will be setting out with the army. Our heroes now bound together, not only in a common cause, but by their very spirits. And we'll hear what Kane's vision was when Colin returns. But yeah, that's terrific. So for those, first off, XP. With the XP bonus, you guys will gain 825 tonight.
So that was how much? 125?
825. 825.
Okay. Sorry.
Did you include the Astonishing Fortune with that?
I did not. No, we got one, two,
I don't think
three,
anybody.
4.
I've got 2.
Oh, you got 2. Oh, yeah, right. So another 50. So that'd be
Virginia used hers.
8.
Oh, right. Yeah.
880. 880.
Okay.
Oh my God, I actually have one.
All right, here's the question.
That is.
Oh.
God, I hope it's enough for Amar to ding, because he's been inching.
Yes.
Nice.
Oh, nice. Okay. Awesome.
After a Amar heavy episode, that definitely fits that he would ding. Anybody else ding this session?
No.
Nope.
Amar, you're 5.
Yeah, I'm now 5.
Nice.
I gotta go pull
Now
my
you
manual up.
Now you can't be put to sleep. In a group.
It's true.
Nice.
We've seen it can happen.
It's very true, yeah. Pretty awesome. Cool. All right, so then for those listening at home, again, thank you for, and James says in chat, Rangers of the North, and he's reading Arms Law as he watches the show.
Awesome.
So for those listening at home, thank you so much for joining us for episode 20 of the Reavers of Thule campaign. Our heroes now have a much better knowledge of what is going on, what adversaries they face, and they are ready to go out and try and seize control of Iron Fang Keep. Will they get there safely? How much of their army will they lose along the way? And what efforts will the Second Sons make in standing against them? We'll have to find out in the coming weeks. So, I'm trying to figure out, we have effectively 4 more sessions in 2019. I think, because we've got 2 in November and 2 in December, and I believe that brings us through to the end. So 24 sessions will bring us to the end of the year, and then question is whether we wrap up trying to put a bow on the chapter and then go on to chapter 2 afterwards, or we just carry on, keep racking those numbers up. we'll have to figure out. This feels more like the latter. This kind of campaign where it's not story, you know, there's story going on and whatnot too, but it isn't like scripted the way that I do with other games. So
yeah, and it keeps expanding around sort of a central kind of spine, so it's cool.
definitely, yeah. And I can't wait to bring the Necromancers of Ix down to bear on you guys now that Virginia has opened the door.
Yeah, Carl just wanted to help you out with that. So.
Yeah.
I should get extra XP.
That's right.
Cool. All right, then, again, for those listening at home, thank you for joining us. As always, if you have any comments, questions, or concerns regarding the session, the game, or if you want to shower praise on the amazing role-playing of our players, please don't hesitate to leave a comment in the comment section below. I will be sure to forward any comments on to our players as well. In addition, you can reach me on Twitter at Dungeon Musings. You can also shoot me an email. My email address is dungeonmusings@gmail.com. And you can follow a link in the description of the video to join us on the Dungeon Musings Discord server as well. The server has channels dedicated to all of our different games, as well as a bunch of other unrelated things, including our ever popular now Dungeon Dogs channel, where we all share pictures of our dogs. In addition, there is a looking for group or find a game channel as well too, where a lot of folks have come together to start running other games, including Arlen's Paladin game that'll be going on later today, and Arlen's ongoing War Dogs of Zoth campaign too. In addition, that's where you find out about my open table sessions. Once a month, I run an open table session available for people who aren't playing in one of my ongoing campaigns, which I will be running later this afternoon, or this month's one I'll be running later this afternoon. In addition, what else? There is also a link in the description of the video to something called Heroes Save Villages. That is the charity fundraising initiative that we run on the channel. We don't otherwise monetize the channel. We don't run any ads. We don't run a Patreon. If you are inclined to toss some gold coins in the direction of the channel, I'd encourage you to click through the link and learn a little more about SOS Children's Villages International, the charity that benefits from all donations that are made through the Heroes Save Villages campaign. The SOS Children's Villages International is active in over 130 countries and provides security and benefits for over 80,000 orphaned and abandoned children from around the world. It is a terrific organization that you can learn all about, and any donations made go directly to help the kids who benefit from the SOS Children's Villages programs. I don't want anyone to feel obliged, of course, but if you are inclined to toss any GP in the direction of the channel, that is the direction I would encourage you to consider. Last but not least, I want to thank my players. 20 sessions and they're still going strong. Robert, Carl, Arlen, Will, and George, thank you so much for joining me this morning, guys. It is actually this morning for everybody this time, not this afternoon, because Colin couldn't make it. Colin, we're thinking of you, bud. Hope you had a really terrific vacation. And we'll see you all again back in Thule, setting back out into the wilds of Thule in 2 weeks' time. So, until then,
Nice, Cap.
Thanks again for watching, folks, and happy gaming.